Hi everyone, welcome back to the Dream Smart Tutors channel. Today I'm going to be talking about creating a portfolio career. If you're a returning subscriber, then thank you for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying all the videos on the channel. If you're new to the channel, would you consider subscribing? We have loads of videos that you might want to check out. I'm Dr. Baptiste, if you didn't already know that. So, how can you create a portfolio career? How can you diversify or mix up your career? What I'm going to do for the first part of the video is talk about my career, and then I'll use my career to illustrate the points that I've listed later on in the video. So what do I do? So I talk about my career in a little bit more detail in two previous videos called My Career Part 1 and Part 2. But just in brief, I will go over that again. Don't want to make it boring and talk about myself, my career over and over again if you've seen it already. So I do public speaking, I write for a company called GP Online, I examine medical students and doctors who've qualified abroad and want to work in the UK. But how did it all begin? How did I start? How did I carve out my portfolio career? So if we go back to how you become a doctor and the career path of a doctor, I graduated from UCL Medical School, which was a 6-year program, 5 years to do the medical degree and 1 year to intercalate or do a BSc in another topic of your choice. I graduated, became a doctor, and then I did 2 years working in the NHS as a foundation doctor, FY1 and FY2. Towards the end of my second year, I was becoming increasingly more frustrated with the way the NHS, the system, was working, and the pressures placed on myself due to staffing pressures, political issues, etc. And I was really burnt out. I was working long hours. So I decided to take a year out and not apply for a further training program. And it was during this time that I went back to all the things that I enjoyed. I went back to writing because that was very therapeutic for me, writing medical, non-medical articles, even writing poetry. I exercised, I networked. So I did loads of different things and I began to carve out a career for myself. And my portfolio career didn't just happen overnight. I didn't really plan it. The other thing I think is crucial to point out here is that my portfolio career has a foundation, and the foundation is medicine. So everything I do, all my other careers, although they may be a little bit more creative, like writing for instance, they're all tied into medicine. So now I'm going to talk about you. How can you create a portfolio career? What can you do to diversify your career? So the first thing I'm going to say is go back to basics. Like I did when I took my year out of training, I went back to who I was. Who was I before I was Dr. Baptiste? I was Patrice. I love writing. I love writing poetry. I love listening to music. I love reading. I loved exercising. So go back to who you were before your current career or the current situation you were in essentially institutionalized you, essentially made you lose who you were beforehand. If you're unable to take a year out or a sabbatical, some time out of your current career or job, then I would encourage you to take some time, during the weekends or the evenings, whenever you've got a bit of a spare moment, to go back to basics, to look at all the things that you used to do, and maybe reignite your passions, maybe just restart them again. And of course, if you want to start a new career, then you can use your spare time to research the career that you're interested in. The second point is create a plan. Before you decide to maybe take a leap, write down all your thoughts, write down what you want to do and have a plan, and make sure it's a strong plan. Think about plan A, think about plan B. In your plan, what would you like to do? Where would you start? Who do you need to contact? Who do you need to reach out to make this happen? For instance, if you want to get into the world of business, you want to start your own business, maybe you want to get into a tech startup, who do you need to make that happen? Do you need to find yourself a mentor? If you want to start your career and you want to do that as soon as possible, are you in a financial position to do that? Are you able to quit your career? And it was me, although I had taken a year out of training in which I started or reignited my passions and interests, I went back into full-time training. So I had to then adapt. I had to then do all the things I was interested in and all my new careers and passions in the evenings, on the weekends, in my spare time basically. I would also suggest creating a list of pros and cons. A portfolio career is not for everyone. A portfolio career may take time to develop. So why don't you write a list of 5 to 10 pros and cons? Do you like the fact that you can have the freedom, the flexibility to plan your own working week and your own career? or do you want the security of being employed? Because there is some lack of security depending on what you do. And also it depends on what area you want to get into. If you want to get into the media, if you want to get into politics, it may take longer than you may have thought, and it may be hard to get into some of those fields. So this leads into my next point, is be persistent. Sometimes people are successful, but it doesn't mean that happened overnight. That happened very quickly for them. They may have had rejections throughout that time and failures and setbacks. Be persistent. If this is something that you're passionate about, then keep going. Just make it happen. And if you feel that, I've tried this one, it's not working, then fair enough. But is there something else that maybe you could try? Is there another interest that you could pursue? So my last point is about networking, and this is such an important point. When I took my year out of training, I networked. I went to medical events, I went to non-medical events. I networked with people who were not necessarily in the medical profession. I think this applies to you even if you're not a doctor. If you're going to network, just be cautious. Of course, network within your career or the new career that you're interested in, but network across the board. Network with loads of different people from different walks of life. And then you might find that you meet someone that you may stay in contact with as a friend, or of course, stay in contact with someone who might be able to help you pursue your passion or interest. Those are my tips. I can talk about this for much longer, but I wanted to make sure the video wasn't too long. So if you wanted to drop me a message, you can comment in the comment section below and I will definitely get back to you. There are some other videos you might want to check out, and those are linked for you to click on and watch, and I hope you enjoy if you choose to watch them. Don't forget to subscribe, show me some support. Although there have been some videos from a few years back, it's only recently that I've started to do some more videos and produce more content for you guys. So please subscribe, show support, and I'll continue to provide more content.